Welcome to the Aragon watch, and my name is Wing Liang, the Aragon watch designer. It's another week, and we are having another beautiful design coming out. This is the Aragon Regeneron Power Reserve. Okay, now we've had this collection with the tritium, and now we're doing the Power Reserve, which is a Seiko NE57. Now, this collection is very intriguing. I don't want to waste any time because a lot of people, they like to see the close-up of the watch, and let's just come in. And when we're having a close-up, so I'm going to talk about why I like this so much, okay? We are one of the rare small brand. We continue to have a lot of really nice Seiko premium mechanical movements. And there's not a lot of these, a lot of brands they're using currently. I don't see a lot of brands using NE88, NE20, or NE57. So this collection is the Power Reserve. I mentioned this many times that I really like the Power Reserve, especially the center hand. Okay. Now, while you're looking at it in a close-up, I just want to point out, let's just take the middle one, the stainless steel version. You can see the center hands. You see how this gauge or this meter right here is your power reserve. So from no energy to 40 hours of power reserve, okay? And then, so there are two ways to wind this watch, absolutely. You can manually wind the watch by the crown. So what we usually recommend people is, when you get this watch at home, you unbox it, unscrew the crown, set your watch to the correct time, okay? Set your date, and then you push and in the normal position, what we recommend people usually wind, 20, 25 revolution by the crown. But what I like to do with the Power Reserve, okay, I wind it just enough to this position, right? And you can watch the hand to go down to full power as you wear the watch. That's what I like about it. So Power Reserve is basically like a gas gauge in your car. It tells you how many hours of power reserve in your watch. Okay, so date window. So while I have you with a close-up, so what I also love this design is the details in the dial. Now, there are multi-layers, multi-level, okay? So the center dial is using this vertical texture. And then we have the date window. And the date window, if you can see it, through your monitor, this little subdial, the outside, what we call the chapter ring, is actually reversed. It goes inside, which I think is really cool, okay? And then also on the outside, if you look at it carefully, it's one step above, right? It's using this sun ray texture, but it's not in a full circle. It's almost like a lightning cut on the outside. It took a lot of hours to design this dial. So everybody, I hope you understand the amount of work I put in to design this dial, okay? Now, and then you see the hour index. They're all very tall. I mean, not as tall as the Dive Master Evo, but they are very tall. So these are all metal hour indicator and filled lume, okay? They all glow in green, okay? So now the bezel is 50 millimeter from 3 to 9 o'clock position. And these are all light green lume, glows green, really bright, I have to tell you. Two sizes, of course, 50 millimeter and the 43 behind. I love the design also, the knurling texture in the middle of the bracelet and as well as the crown, okay? Everything about this design, I hope you like as much as I do. So it comes in 3 colors, right? So all 3 colors from the first, we call the browns, is actually the IP brown, ionic plating brown. The center one is the stainless steel. So these are all done in vertical brushed, okay? Or all vertical brushed. And now this one right here is very special because it's IP black. Okay, now you can see the bezel is being done with the sunray texture. Okay. And then the bracelet is being done with vertical brushed. Now, it's what we call the stealthy design. If you look at it closely, the hands, the hour, and the minute are being done in black, the color black, and the hour index, you know, the frame, what we call it, is also done in black. So it's like a tone in tone design, but you can also see, you know, this contrast right here from red to cyan to blue to dark blue, which is really, really cool. It adds, you know, details to the watch. And then you can see the logo is in black. All right, very contrasty. What I want to say that is because the lume is being done in this light green color. Or maybe not a light green. I wouldn't say light green, maybe, how do I describe this color? It's like a mint. Maybe I should call it like a mint. It's really, really nice. All right, so this time around with the Regeneron, what I like about it is you see how, pay attention to the hands. So the black with the black hands, stainless steel is the blue index with the blue hands. And check out this one. Bronze with bronze. Very cool, isn't it? Now, another feature what I also really like is, I think you've seen a lot of the Aragon watch with the crown. You see the Aragon logo, the 4-star. Okay, the Regeneron, the M50, they're all done in this big dot. And especially when they glow in the dark, it's really, really cool. Okay, now, the case thickness is about 16. The bracelet is 5mm in thickness. And if I remember correctly, the weight of the 50mm is about 10 ounces. It's quite hefty, which I like to build watches like that. Solid deploying clasp. Okay, fully decorated rotor. I like a lot. Okay, if I can show it to you. All right, so, and then 200 meters water resistant. I mentioned about the, you know, the solid deploying clasp. All right, now what else? So I forgot to mention the lug to lug. This one is 56. Okay. Now let's go to the 43mm. The lug to lug is 49. Okay. And the weight of this watch is, if I remember correctly, is 7.3 or 7.5 ounce. Don't kill me if I'm wrong. Okay, all right. So thickness is about 16 as well. Rotor is also fully decorated because it's using the same movement, identical movement. I have to say this, mention this again and again, just because our Aragon philosophy is create, you know, beautiful designs of watches, unique, not a copy of anyone. And we always use, you know, some of the nicest movement and still very affordable. And I want people to understand it's not because these movements are inexpensive. These movements are very expensive. But we sacrifice on margin. So everybody, all of our customers, our fans, our loyal customers, or all the watch collectors out there, they will be able to afford. You know, not everybody can afford a $500 watch, or a $1,000 watch, or $5,000 watch. We always go out and create this reasonable price. It's because we work around with very low margin. I hope everybody understands. I appreciate, you know, what we're trying to do. This is a premium Seiko automatic, NE57. Okay, if you do a little research on the internet, okay, and they'll probably range from, I would say, to be very fair, anywhere between $550 to $750. Okay. And we always go out at a ridiculous price. in the first initial offering. So everybody should take advantage of us, nicely, and get this watch as soon as you see it. And I hope everybody gets this watch because, and second thing is, if we were producing this watch in mass quantities, I get it, like we sacrifice our margin by quantity, but we're not. We're a small company. We produce in small quantities, and often we don't reproduce. Okay, so once they're gone, and we always see people, call or email us. It's like, oh, at that time I couldn't afford it, and do you still have this watch in stock? And we tell you, it's like, oh, I'm really, really sorry, it's sold out. Maybe you can find it on some other site or somewhere, or some Facebook page that people are offering with the other collectors are willing to share with you. So after the end of the video, we're gonna do like a 5 to 10 or 15 seconds lume shot so everybody can see how beautiful they are in the dark. And I think I cover almost everything about this watch. And also the design, the design inspiration is continue to design these watches with unique designs, right? So I'm going to put this on. All right, now this is the 43. Okay, I have to mention this again and again. I have a 6.5-inch wrist. I love how it fits on my wrist. It looks perfect to me, of course. And don't forget, when you see the photos of these watches, pay attention to the layers, the design of the dial, I should say, and the multi-layers of the dial, okay? I'm going to put on the 50 millimeter so everybody can also see, because a lot of guys out there, even they have very similar wrist of mine, the size wrist, they prefer to wear the larger piece. Now, the way we sculpture the case again and again, I emphasize this over the years. You see how we taper or we contour the lug? It's wearable on a small wrist, okay? We always argue that the trend is going smaller and smaller. It's all personal preference. I wear a large timepiece too. I have 50 millimeter gauge and the 55 too. I think it's absolutely a fun watch to wear, a 55 millimeter gauge, once in a while. So I'm gonna wear the stainless steel. Okay. There's not a bad color. I know many of you, you collect multiple colors. There's not a bad color at all in this collection. And each one is so unique, because when you get the bronze, it's different. When you get the stealthy black, it's also how would I describe it? It's very mean looking. It's like a muscle car, it's like a fine sports car. I'm gonna the final one I'm gonna put on is the stainless steel. It's all what you like. Don't forget also the hands colors are completely different than the black and the bronze. All right. I hope you like this watch, and I hope if you don't have a power reserve, NE57, the center hand, get this one. Okay. The reason why I keep emphasizing saying this is not everybody, have this movement. Not every brand has this movement. It's not a lot of watch brands have this movement as of today. I mean, maybe in the future, you're going to see a lot more people use this, or a lot more, small brands, they're going to use this, but there are not a lot of the NE57, okay? All right, so thank you very much. Enjoy the lume video, and these are really, really good looking watch. All right, I will see you next time.